They were not ordinary restraints. The metal was dull black, humming faintly with alien energy that suppressed movement and strength. Each link weighed like a promise that escape was impossible. 2 armored guards marched beside me as we walked through the towering halls of the alien capital ship. The air smelled faintly of ozone and something floral I couldn't name. Pale blue lights lined the walls, pulsing slowly like a heartbeat. Above us, transparent panels revealed stars stretching endlessly across space. To them, this place was the center of an empire. To me, it was a prison. "Move," one of the guards growled, shoving my shoulder. I stumbled forward but kept my balance. My legs ached, my ribs were bruised, and dried blood still clung to the corner of my mouth from the interrogation earlier. Apparently, the Empire didn't like human spies. Unfortunately for them, I wasn't a spy, but they didn't believe me. At the end of the corridor, massive doors stood waiting. They were at least 30 feet tall, made of silver metal carved with swirling patterns that seemed almost alive. The guard stopped. One of them pressed a glowing sigil on the wall. With a deep rumble, the doors began to open. Light flooded through the widening gap. "The throne room," the guard muttered. My stomach tightened. This was it. If the stories were true, the being waiting inside was the most powerful ruler in this quadrant of the galaxy. The Alien Queen. I had heard rumors about her during the war years ago. A brilliant strategist. A ruthless conqueror. A ruler who could command entire fleets with a single sentence. And apparently the one who would decide whether I lived or died. The guards pushed me forward. I stepped inside. The throne room was enormous. Columns of shimmering crystal stretched toward a ceiling so high it vanished into shadow. Streams of glowing energy ran through the floor like rivers of light. Alien nobles and commanders stood on both sides of the chamber, their armor reflecting gold and violet hues. At the far end, on a raised platform, sat the throne, and on it, the queen. She was taller than any human woman, nearly 7 feet even while seated. Her skin shimmered like polished silver, and long dark hair flowed down her back like liquid night. A crown of living metal curved gently around her head. Her eyes glowed faintly violet. Cold. Powerful. Unquestionably royal. The room was silent as I was dragged forward. Hundreds of alien eyes stared at me like I was some strange animal. The guards forced me to my knees at the center of the chamber. "Your Majesty," one of them announced loudly, bowing his head. "We have captured a human infiltrator near the outer defense systems." A murmur rippled through the court. A human. Impossible. They're supposed to be extinct in this sector. The queen didn't react at first. She simply watched me. Her gaze felt like gravity pressing down on my chest. "Raise his head," she said calmly. One of the guards grabbed my hair and jerked my face upward. Pain flared through my scalp, but I met her eyes anyway. I wasn't going to die staring at the floor. The queen studied me silently. Then she spoke again. "Human," she said, her voice smooth and commanding. "State your purpose in my empire." I coughed slightly before answering. "My purpose," I said hoarsely. Survival would be a good start. A few officers scoffed. One stepped forward, armor gleaming. "Your Majesty, this creature was found near restricted systems. It must be a spy." I shook my head. "I was scavenging wreckage," I said. "Your patrol ship dragged me in before I could explain." "Lies," the officer snapped. The queen raised one finger. Instant silence returned to the room. "Speak carefully, human," she said. "Your life depends on it." I took a slow breath. "Well, if my life's on the line anyway, can I at least ask something first?" The court erupted in murmurs again. The officer looked outraged. "You dare." The queen tilted her head slightly. What do you wish to ask? She said. I studied her face for a moment. Something about it tugged at my memory. A faint, impossible feeling. But I pushed it aside. I want to know why your patrol ships still fly with cracked shield harmonics, I said. The room went completely silent. Even the guards froze. The officer frowned. What nonsense is this? But the Queen leaned forward slightly. Her glowing eyes narrowed. What did you say? I shrugged slightly despite the chains. Your shield harmonics, I repeated. They're out of sync by about 0.4%. That's why the cruiser that caught me was leaking radiation through its aft section. The officer scoffed. A human couldn't possibly understand our technology. Maybe, I said calmly. But whoever designed your fleet stabilization matrix definitely copied the old Terran resonance model. The Queen suddenly stood. The entire throne room gasped. Alien nobles stepped back in shock. The Queen descended the steps slowly. Her gaze never left me. My heart started pounding. Okay, that reaction was definitely unexpected. She stopped a few feet away. Then she spoke quietly. Say something else. I blinked. Like what? Anything, she said. The room felt frozen. I frowned slightly, confused. Well, I muttered. Your throne room acoustics are terrible. Whoever built this place forgot about sound echoing through crystal pillars. The Queen inhaled sharply. Her eyes widened. For the first time since I had entered the chamber, the powerful ruler of an alien empire looked stunned. Then she whispered one word. Elias? My breath caught. I stared up at her. That voice. That name. Suddenly, something in my chest tightened. Wait, I said slowly. Her expression changed completely. The cold royal mask shattered. And for a brief moment, I saw someone else beneath it. Someone familiar. Someone I hadn't seen in 10 years. Lyra? I whispered. The entire throne room gasped again. But the Queen didn't seem to hear them. She stepped forward quickly. The guards panicked. Your Majesty. She ignored them. Then she did something no one in that room expected. The alien Queen dropped to one knee in front of me and gently touched the chains around my wrists. Gasps echoed throughout the chamber. Officers looked horrified. Impossible. She kneels to a human? But the Queen's voice trembled softly. You're alive, she whispered. My mind spun. Memories slammed into me like a tidal wave. 10 years ago. A battlefield. A crashed alien fighter. An injured young pilot trapped inside burning wreckage. And a human mechanic who had refused to leave her behind. You, I said quietly. You were just a cadet. She smiled faintly. And you were the stubborn human who carried me 3 miles through a war zone. The chains around my wrists suddenly unlocked. They fell to the floor with a heavy clatter. The Queen stood again and faced her stunned court. This human is not a prisoner, she declared. Her voice was steel now. He is the man who saved my life. Silence crushed the room. The officer who had accused me earlier looked like he might faint. But, Your Majesty, he's human. She turned toward him slowly. And no one answered. The Queen looked back at me. For a moment, the powerful ruler vanished again, replaced by the girl I remembered from that battlefield. I searched for you, she said quietly. I thought you were dead, I admitted. She shook her head softly. I survived because of you. The court remained frozen. One noble finally whispered, Your Majesty, the Empire cannot allow. She raised her hand. Enough. Her gaze swept across the chamber. You all speak of loyalty and honor, she said calmly. But this human showed both when he had no reason to. No one dared argue. Then she turned back to me. And now fate brings him to my throne room in chains. Her voice softened slightly. That mistake will not happen again. She extended her hand. Elias stand. I hesitated. Then I took her hand and rose to my feet. For the first time since entering the room, I stood without chains. The queen looked at the court. This man will be given full protection under imperial law. The murmurs returned, but no one challenged her. Then she leaned closer to me and spoke quietly enough that only I could hear. You saved me when I was nothing. Her violet eyes shimmered. Now I finally get to return the favor. I smiled slightly. Well, I said, next time we meet, maybe without the chains? She laughed softly. The sound echoed through the throne room. And for the first time in years, the galaxy suddenly felt a little less hostile. Far above us, the stars continued to burn. But now, standing beside the most powerful being in this empire, I had a feeling my life was about to become far more complicated, and possibly far more interesting.